Hello, and welcome to part 3 of Project Covert. Last time we were working on things like the inventory, we were working on collectible items, and some first person looking around and that sort of thing. So now we've added some new features, we've tidied up some of the features that we made before, like the inventory has been completely rewritten. So I'm just going to briefly explain what I've done. Rather than showing you the code, I figured that I'm taking a bit too much time explaining each and individual little bit. So you guys let me know whether you want to know more about the code or just about how the project is going along. Either way, for now I'm just going to explain how the project's going along because there's quite a lot to explain. So now, when you collect an item, you can decide how much that item is worth to you. So I say here, when I click on level and I click on the collectible sleep dart, the collectible script, I can choose what item it is. So none, obviously it would never be none, but here I've chosen sleep dart, and then the amount that you gain when you collect it. So I'll just show you a quick example of what this would look like. Another thing you might notice is in the top right hand corner here, where my mouse is, you can see an icon, and currently that is the sort of none icon. That says I've got no items selected. Whereas if I go and collect this yellow rotating thing, it changes to a dart. So by collecting the item, it changes the player's selected item to the item that I just picked up, and then it gives me the quantity of that item that I've got in this sort of grayed out box here. So that's one of the changes, is the inventory. It's been completely rewritten, as I said, and it just works a lot better now and is easier for me to implement new items as I move along in building the game. So that was the first thing. That's the addition since last time. That's one of the additions since last time. The other one is the actual ability to shoot the sleep darts. That was something I planned on doing for this devlog. So let's just have a quick check and see how that works. So there's two ways you can shoot. If I'm in this mode here, remember we had the mode where we can look around like this, where I can go in first person and look around like this. I can shoot in that mode, but I can also shoot in this mode. So it depends which angle you want to shoot by. So if I want to do something more precise, I might do this. There's no crosshair at the moment, but it would shoot right down the center of the screen. Whereas if I'm in this mode, I would just point in the last face direction. So I'll show you how this works quickly. As I shoot, it just shoots this ball at the moment, and that ball is the sleep dart. Obviously, the graphics are not a thing yet. All of these graphics and cubes and objects and stuff are all just placeholder. So that's my excuse for that at the moment. So the sleep darts are shooting, which is a step in the right direction. So each object item is going to have its own script attached, and all this does, it has a strength of the sleep darts. Now I'm just going to quickly explain how the sleeping system works in this, because this is the next thing that I've built. In my plans of the last devlog, for this devlog, I put sleep darts to affect enemies and possibly sleeping times based on how far the dart travelled. So when you shoot a sleeping dart, I want that sleeping dart to lose its strength as it progresses on through the distance that it's travelled. So it starts off at strength 15. These variables are probably going to be, I'm going to make it so you can change these, because you might be able to get stronger sleep darts later on in the game. I don't know. But anyway, it starts at 15. It's hard-coded for now. And then when it gets created, the player presses the shoot button. It faces it in the direction that the player is facing. And then in the sleep darts update method, it just pluses to its position in the direction that it's facing at speed 10 times time.delta time. Time.delta time being the time that the game takes to get through 1 second. So that means it's regulated. So no matter on your FPS, it's going to still be the same in every device that you run this game on. Right. Then the other thing I thought is that while it's updating, it checks if the strength is greater than 5, and it minuses from that amount. So this is still sort of in testing at the moment. I'm not 100% sure how much I want the strength to diminish by as it goes, but this is just sort of testing at the moment. It's still early stages, but that only happens while it's greater than 5, because I don't want the sleeping dart to completely lose its strength. So when it gets under 5, it will just sort of stay at about 5, the strength. Now, here, when it collides with something, it checks whether it's not a player. If it's not a player, if it's not the player, then it destroys the bullet object, or the sleep dart, and then it checks whether it was an enemy that it collided with. Really, that should happen the other way around. Let me just rectify that. It does still work because the script is still alive, but the game object dies. But anyway, I want it that way around. So when if it checks that it's an enemy, and it is an enemy, then it adds the tiredness to the enemy's tiredness, the amount of strength that the sleep dart still has. Now, the enemy has, I'll just show you down here, it's got a tiredness threshold and its actual tiredness. So the actual tiredness would start off at 0, it's guarding, it's like awake, alert, but then as soon as you shoot it, it's going to add the amount of strength of that sleep dart to the enemy's tiredness. If it goes above the tiredness threshold, then the enemy falls asleep. Then, over time, the enemy will begin to wake up again until it gets that tiredness threshold. As basically, so say I shot it, it landed on 15, its tiredness, it would go down to 5, the enemy would wake up again, and then it would slowly diminish back down to 0 again. So, currently, this is obviously in testing, but it does work. And I've got the enemy just going from red to white as it starts to wake up. So I'll just show you what this looks like. So I go here, I get my 3 sleeping darts, I go in first person, I shoot the enemy. Oh, I miss. That's embarrassing. It goes red, it goes back to white again. You can see it's just stopped moving, and then it carries on moving after it's woken up. So at the moment it's very all quick. Obviously this is going to take a bit of changing. I'm just testing it at the moment. So if I was to shoot 2 sleeping darts at it, or I'll say 3, then it really gets tired. And here we can see it's got 33 seconds down the bottom here. You can see it's going down, and while that's happening, he will stay completely still, and also he can't see me because he's asleep. So now, if that tiredness gets below 5, suddenly he's going to wake up and he's going to see me. So I've got to be careful that he doesn't wake up. And you can also see that he's becoming less red as he's beginning to wake up. So that's the progress. It's quite a lot of. Oh, he can't see me. I've broken something here. Don't worry about that. That'll be fixed next time. So let me add that to my plans. Fix enemy seeing player. So somewhere along the line, I've broken that. But that doesn't matter too much. We'll fix that next time. So that's all the additions for this time. There are some quite fun ones, quite interesting ones. So I've added these little icons up here. That's probably the only graphics I'm going to add for the moment. But this is what I've got planned for next time. So firstly, I want to add a sleep trap item. So in other words, an item that you can leave on the floor and the enemy can walk up to it, and if it touches it, then somehow it makes the enemy fall asleep, or it does something, it distracts the player, the enemy. The other thing is, as the enemy goes towards sleeping, or if the enemy goes back towards being awake, I want there to be an area where the enemy sort of wakes up, shakes its head, gets back used to being awake again, or if it's about to fall asleep, it needs to sort of fall asleep. So there's going to need to be a slot for an animation or something, so that it has a sort of going in and out of sleep mode. Another thing I wanted to add was sort of a level introduction. So maybe the camera can be panned from above you, and then the player can sort of spawn, explode into existence, and then the camera pans to where it needs to be. So that's another thing I wanted to do, just as a nice little introduction to a level, and then maybe some text on the screen. But I think that's probably going to be changed a lot as time goes on, depending on the length of the levels, and all that sort of thing. There's still a lot to be decided there. Another thing is I'm actually going to build an actual level in Blender. Blender is a brilliant 3D tool, so I'm gonna build the level so it's actually playable, and try and make something that's a little bit difficult, just so I can check that the gameplay is actually viable, it actually works, and see how difficult and easy I can make it. See what kind of range of difficulty is possible with this sort of gameplay. And then the last thing, fix enemy scene player. So that's the next thing I need to fix. So that is everything, I think. So yeah, if you've got any ideas or questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you'd like any more of these videos, please subscribe and leave a like if you like the video. Or if you've got any suggestions, that would be great. You can find my contact details, or you can leave a comment below, and that would be great. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next devlog.